See, when you say take medication, as I understand it, what you're doing is putting something in the brain that you don't have as much of
Yeah.
as other people. So without it, you have more difficulty handling difficult situations. So to me, in those terms, it's not a stigma.
Sure.
It's just putting something in the body you don't have.
No, I think that's absolutely right, and I'm glad you said that thing about stigma, because, you know, I think a lot of people, up until the time this documentary came out, a lot of people were very ashamed and embarrassed,
Yeah,
and
I understand.
and that's ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
it's 2008, and that's why we did this book.
Yeah, and he was saying also, I think it's in the book, you have blood tests to double check the level of the medication is
Yep.
the correct level. And if for any reason your body starts to produce more of the sodium and lack of salt that in the brain, then that will show in the blood tests. So
It will.
Yeah.
I mean, that is absolutely true, and it's very important. I mean, I think the most important thing for anybody suffering from this, and I can broaden it out into any form of mental illness actually, is it's very important to have somebody in your life you really trust. That can be a psychiatrist, that can be a doctor, it can be a priest, it can be, you know, it can be a traffic warden. I know that's odd, but it can be.
Yeah.
But in other words, somebody who you can go to who will tell you the truth, and who knows you, and who you hopefully will listen to, because you need that. You need to be able to talk to people. You know, talking is a great therapy.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on a Harley Street couch or a Park Avenue couch, you know, any of that nonsense. It's just talking to someone you trust, who you respect, who respects you. I mean, I would say that is hugely, hugely important. A routine is very, very important. And, you know, manic depressives are very often highly intelligent people.
And very creative people
Yes,
too.
yes, they are.
Yeah.
Very. A routine, though, is important because you need something that can go through all the tripwires of the condition, you know. Because even if you're taking medication, and even this, sometimes you can go a little bit low, sometimes you get a little bit high. But if you've got a routine, well, you can walk through those times. And one of the most difficult things for us all, but also for people who are manic depressive, is getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, we all often lie there going, "Oh my God, you know, it's terrible, it's awful." I did it myself this morning. You know, even now it can happen to me. And I thought, you know, it's just all going to be terrible. And in the end, you know, the biggest thing you can do is to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And it sounds so stupid, but it's a big deal. Get out of bed and, you know, make yourself a cup of tea, make yourself something to eat, and then just by those simple actions, you're moving.
Yeah.
And you can build. And, you know, if you set yourself a little task of saying, each day I'm going to do 2 things I really don't want to do. And you do those things. And I mean, that can be make the bed, do the washing up, or it can be sell the rolls and, and concrete over the garden.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but it's about self-esteem. You know, this condition affects self-esteem and it distorts it. But in a way, once you know what you're dealing with, then you have to sort of build up a little toolbox
Yes, right. You were saying earlier about having these things that are on your side, so to speak, these
Yeah,
allies, these things that support you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, if you can, one of the best things is to get a pet. That
Okay.
might sound absolutely mad.
Yeah.
Get a pet, or look after someone's pet.
Yeah.
But if you have something, because we're all, we're not all lucky to be, with somebody in life. So if you find yourself on your own, if you've got a dog, a cat, a goldfish, a budgerigar, it's something that likes you unconditionally,
Comforting.
and you can
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
unconditionally.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many ways, in which you can look after yourself, and a lot of them are really, really basic, simple things: eating properly, sleeping properly,
Yeah.
hugely important. Making sure you have fun, making sure you have enough contact with people, because it is. I mean, I think for myself, it's all very easy for me. I'm quite gregarious and quite extrovert. But I know if I get down, I don't pick up the phone. So for somebody who's introverted,
It's even harder,
it's
isn't
even
it?
harder.
Yeah. Yeah. But just to summarise, we have to finish in a few minutes. It sounds like for these days you're pretty stable.
Pretty
You
well,
have
yeah.
been for okay. Like we all have
Yeah.
ups and downs. We all have
Yeah, yeah.
days we're not so keen to get out of bed. That's a normal thing.
Yeah.
But basically, by having the ground rules you have, taking the medication every day, by trying to have this kind of structure in your life, not drinking, eating sensibly, they're all things. Having a support system, they're all things that help you to live a pretty normal life.
Oh, absolutely, and there's no reason why not.
And you still have your creativity, your creative side,
Absolutely,
because you're writing now, aren't you?
I mean, I wrote this novel here. We'll give it a quick plug. There you are.
Taking Lead, which
Taking
is
Lead.
based on your experiences in the music business.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do now. I write, and a lot of people say, lithium. Oh, that's going to be very bad for your creativity. Well, not at all. It may help me.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people have said that.
I guess what it does then is you have the creativity and it helps to give it something tangible in terms of form, otherwise being a kind of a fantasy.
Well,
Is that right?
It's actually very simple. It means you can go on. It means you can function.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It might knock off a few sharp edges, that you might think are a bit groovy, but it just means you can go on. And you know as well as I do that with most creative processes, it's not, excuse me, it's not about drinking a bottle of whiskey a day and having 26 cats like Ernest Hemingway. It's actually just staying up on the horse every day and being able to do it, and gradually you do it and you do it and you do it and you get it, and that's how it works. But when we wrote that book, I mean, in the book it's highly personal stuff. My view was, if I'm going to pass anything on to other people, you might as well pass everything on and tell the truth.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what I tried to do, I suppose. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming on and talking to us today, Jeremy.
Thank you for having me.
Here's the book. You don't have to be famous to have manic depression. Well, Jeremy is a bit famous in some circles, and so he fits the ball in some ways. The ball fits the court in some ways. But anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing with us, and thank you for watching Conscious TV.
Thanks a lot.